Hi guys. It's actually nighttime, pitch black here. But Yahweh found a spotlight up in the shed, and so I'm being blinded by the light. Isn't there a song? Blinded by the light. Dun, dun, dun. We've got Jonah here. Oh, say hello, darling. First of all, the royal wave. and Dexter.
All the
Jonah.
way from England?
Yes, come.
Kent?
Apparently I'm Jonah.
Absolutely. And I'm going to read you about Jonas
Very
in a minute.
convincing, wasn't it?
Now, Joel, we've got over on camera. And of course, for those who don't already know, Joel is Job, the reincarnated Job, the patience of Job. That's a saying and a proverb. And certainly Joel has a great deal of patience being around us and doing all of our uploading. He's loving it. And loving it. There you go. What wonderful sons we have coming from afar. Now, that's, of course, too, the prophecy about our sons and daughters coming from every quarter of the earth. And that's what's happening. And it's exciting. So, Jonah. Who was Jonah? Well, Jonah was a prophet. In the New Testament, he is referred to as Jonas. In the Old Testament, Jonah. But working back from the New Testament, reading from Matthew 12:39, Jesus speaking here, the words in red, you know, hey babe. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonas, and behold, a greater than Jonas is here. So Jesus was speaking to the evil generation of that time, which is the even more evil generation of this time. That's why he said that that generation would rise up with the men of Nineveh, and the men of Nineveh who repented at the word of Jonas over there, who tried to get out of his commission and got swallowed by a whale, spewed up on a beach after he repented in the belly of the whale. It's symbolic of being in hell. And so he got over himself and decided, well, I better do what he wants me to do and go and tell the king of Assyria, who had a really bad habit of cutting off the lips of any messengers that he didn't like the message that was being delivered from. So Jonas...
No. It delivered, whatever he liked the message, he didn't hear it. He just cut the lips off.
Oh, he didn't even listen to the message. Oh, my God.
No, I don't want to hear messages.
Okay, so he
show
cut...
it with one will cut your lips off. Then see if you can tell me. That's how they taught.
Oh, right. Okay. So it wasn't yeah. What's that saying about don't shoot the messenger? Well, they didn't. They cut their lips off.
So you don't go there and shoot your mouth off, right?
Okay. I'm not liking this light at all. It's blinding me.
Just do it.
Oh, where was I in this? Where was I in this ripping yarn? Okay, so Jonas is going to tell the king of Assyria now, after some reflection, that they better repent. And to his amazement, it was 40 miles from the time he was spewed up on the sand and getting into where the king was. And by the time he got there, the king had already repented, because as he was preaching on the way in, runners along the way would go and deliver the message to the king. And so by the time we got there, it was, well, okay. And so that is why Jesus speaking said that the men of Nineveh would raise up with this generation. So it's a prophecy of this generation today. The world rulers, the powers that were, all raised up through reincarnation with the men of Nineveh, and the men of Nineveh are condemning it.
And when 3 or more are gathered in my name, the first one has to be the oldest book of the Bible. Job.
Job. That's why Joel
So
is
now
here.
Job's here. And then it has to be the messenger to take it back to the most evil empire on earth, England. And the Jews. So the message is quite plainly that all the Jews are going to be out of here unless they repent. They're the ones that caused the piercing, so the ones that looked on upon they pierced, they're going to have to start worrying. Now get on to what I said last week about I blew up the CIA tunnels. Yeah? What happened?
For all of the reports about it being a nuclear blast, it wasn't, of course. It was the air pressure that was suddenly released.
From 19.7 atmospheres, 20 times the atmospheric pressure, 14.5 pounds per square inch, gives you 290 pounds per square inch inward pressure. That gets inside everything, like a man who has got the bends when it comes up too quickly. The deep pressure that he was under, the nitrogen come into his muscles, and of course as he comes to the surface, the nitrogen expands and gives you the vents. Well, can you imagine that all the air, as the pressure raised up in these tunnels, penetrated everything over a long period of time, and then when the air pressure was released, everything blew up.
And pulverized everything,
no people in there.
ground it to dust. And of course, that takes us back to the Aramaic Gospels, where if you remember from about 2 months ago in the 13...
I remind you of Christchurch on September the 4th.
Yeah.
When no one get killed. I did that.
Yes.
I had a drawing of it years and years and years ago. It's identified by the pyramid. Overlaid on New Zealand. Christchurch. And our property had a split, if you like, the same length as the two islands moved apart in New Zealand.
11 feet. On September the 4th last year, wasn't it? So we've just passed the anniversary.
So we take the date of the 28th of October, but life begins at conception. That's the soul is fully mature there, and it's with the baby right the way through. And you go back 280 days, it gives you the 22nd of December 2010. So we've already hit it.
7 billion souls are on the planet.
7 billion souls are on the planet on that date, which is the 2 years prior to going into the northern side of the Milky Way galaxy. Can you repeat that?
22nd of December will be our first day on the north side.
Okay,
That's in
what time we
2012.
got there?
It's the time.
Yeah.
8:58 is the time.
Of the
and
length
its
of
length
this thing.
is 8:17, 8:18, 8:19, 20.
Oh, end it.
Up. Okay, be back.